And finally tonight, we welcome someone who's forgotten more about the economy than I'll ever know. She's the director of the Economic Policy Center at Independent Women's Forum, and she's my co-host on O'Connor and Company every morning on WMAL here in Washington. Patrice Onwuka. Patrice, happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, Larry.
Listen, this didn't get a lot of attention, and it should, and I know it's something that you're passionate about. The Biden administration, through their Labor Department, about 10 days ago, they announced that they're redefining, or they want to redefine, an employee versus a freelancer. This is an attack on the gig economy and a gift to the public service unions. Can you explain to us why this is so important?
Oh, it's hugely important for the tens of millions of people. Something like about 50 to 60 million people consider themselves freelancers. They are not paid by, they're not a W-2 employee of a particular company. Maybe they're an entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur, small business owner. They even may hire other independent contractors to work for them. They value the flexibility to work from home. They value the flexibility to have, to work whenever, wherever, and however they choose. But flexibility is a bad word, unfortunately, with the Biden administration. And what we're seeing here is an effort to reclassify, to make it more difficult to retain that independent contractor status nationwide. This would have rippling impacts across people of various occupations. We know this because something similar was passed in California and devastated thousands of individuals.
Yeah, I saw you did a great video for PragerU on that, our colleague Dennis Prager here on Salem News Channel, and I loved that. So the administration will argue, oh, no. See, there are people that are being exploited. They're working, but they're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And the big bad employer, the owner, it's not paying them any overtime or giving them any benefits. So we're just trying to protect them from being exploited. Are they wrong?
Well, number one, let's see the evidence of mass misclassification. So far, there's been no evidence that tens of millions of people have been misclassified by an employer. So let's see the evidence. Number two, people choose. They know that there's a trade-off between being an employee, getting overtime, getting mandated minimum wage pay, federal and state regulations that apply to employees. They know they're making a trade-off because they value flexibility. They value the autonomy. They value the ability to make an occupation or just some side cash in whatever manner that they choose. And so it is false for the Biden administration to say, you know what, everyone really just needs to be an employee of a company. Fiscally, it does not work. A lot of businesses cannot afford to hire their independent contractor workforce as employees. And as we saw in California, when something similar was passed, you saw entire occupations being shipped out of state. Well, what's going to happen if this becomes nationwide policy?
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. It's a protection racket for the radical Democrats in California. Patrice, you also just wrote an article in Newsweek highlighting the fact that this crop of Republican candidates running for the House and in the Senate, incredibly diverse, probably the most diverse group of candidates the Republicans have fielded. If it were the Democrats, they'd already have the covers of Vogue, right? The Squad and all of that stuff. Why is the media ignoring this?
Oh, because it's a way to belittle and demean and forget that there are other voices that do not belong to the Democratic Party, but who come from the Black community, who come from the Hispanic community, who come from the Native American community. The RNC released a press release that they have dozens of candidates coming who come from different racial backgrounds. This is fantastic, and it should be celebrated not because of their races, but because they're actually individuals who are fighting for limited government, who believe that the government overstepped its bounds during COVID, and who believe that the government does not own our children. Those are great issues that you have a wide swath of people running on. But the left hates it because then it undercuts the narrative that the Republican Party, is just a party of old white men. It's actually a party, the conservative movement is welcoming to people of all diverse backgrounds because you know what? People want to be entrepreneurs. People don't want to pay high taxes. They want to be safe in their communities. They don't want the government to overstep in their lives or to take over their children's life. And so those are ideas that resonate in lots of different communities, and the left does not want that to get out.
Are you saying that peace and prosperity and personal security as well as national security, these are things that everyone cares about regardless of the color of their skin or their national origin? Patrice Onwuka, that's dangerous talk coming from you.
I'll add one more. they actually care more about inflation than they do about voting rights. This is according to CNN polling that I referenced in my piece. So
Yeah.
Larry, yes, we actually care about our pocketbook, not just about these faux narratives around voting rights or whatever the left it claims that we care about.
Thank you, Patrice. It's always great to talk with you. A double
Thanks,
dip today
Larry.
since we were on the air this morning on WMAL. Thank you, Patrice Onwuka. That's it for tonight. We'll see you Monday. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.